Gulf of Mexico oil rig sinks. A Coast Guard official said on Friday that oil was not spilling from a deepwater well off the coast of Louisiana. At least, hopefully not. Apparently easing concerns of a potential environmental disaster days after an explosion on an oil rig left 11 workers missing in a 1 by 5 mile oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico. It does not appear at this time that oil is coming from the hole, said Catherine McNamara, a fireman with the Coast Guard. She said the assessment was made by using a remote-controlled device equipped with a camera and sonar. Officials with the Coast Guard and BP, the company leasing the rig, said they were still trying to determine why oil was not escaping from the well and whether that remains a possibility. Rescue efforts for the missing workers continued on Friday, officials said in a statement. Rear Admiral Mary E. Landry, the commander of the Coast Guard's 8th District, said on Thursday that interviews with some of the 115 survivors had indicated to officials that the 11 who were missing may have been in the vicinity of the explosion. A view echoed separately in interviews with reporters. As time passes, she said, the probability of success in locating the 11 missing persons decreases. The sinking of the oil rig left the scope of the disaster troublingly uncertain. Admiral Landry and officials from BP and Transocean, the Swiss company that owned the giant $700 million rig, could not say with certainty whether oil and gas were still coming from the well underwater, though Adrian Rose, a vice president at Transocean, said the response team was not able to stem the flow of hydrocarbons before the rig sank. David Rainey, a vice president for Gulf of Mexico exploration for BP, said, if there is any other oil that's coming from the well, it would be coming from the subsurface. So, it would be coming from below the seabed. The well was just over 18,000 feet deep. And we don't know from where in that 18,000 feet it would be coming, fearing a huge potential environmental disaster. BP announced on Thursday that it was dispatching a flotilla of more than 30 vessels capable of skimming more than 170,000 barrels of oil a day to protect sea lanes and wildlife in their area of the sunken platform. Oil industry executives expressed dismay over what some characterize as potentially the biggest blowout of an oil and gas well in the Gulf of Mexico in at least 30 years, if not ever. The accident may also serve as a disturbing reminder to states like Florida that offshore drilling holds big environmental risk, even though the industry has long claimed that big spills are a thing of the past and that improved technologies have lowered the chances of spillage. The acknowledgement that the missing workers may have been caught in the initial explosion would not have come as a surprise to some of the relatives of survivors. The 11 that's missing, they won't find them, said one man whose son survived the explosion, having been on the drill floor only moments before it was awash in flames. The knowledge that some may not come back added a bitter pall to family reunions early Thursday when buses full of crew members pulled up to an airport hotel where many of the relatives were staying. Looking out there, watching the rig burning, knowing they're out there, it's a horrible feeling. Flames were as high as 500 feet, with great columns of black smoke The relatives of the missing had little to do but wait. Updates were coming and telephone calls once an hour, or were supposed to be. But anyway, this could be an environmental disaster. Well, it is already, actually. And there's something more than all this. Something bigger going on in all these things. It's almost likened to a man-made volcano. In some kind of way. Everything is connected, and everything is numbered. And yes, these are more signs of the end times, transition days. There are many kinds of signs happening daily all around the world.